Hey everyone, welcome to SarteK programming. This is the part 2 of loops in Python video, and if you haven't checked the first part, do check it out. In that video, I have already covered what are loops, why exactly do we need them, and we have also covered the implementation of while loop. In this video, we will cover the other loop, that is for loop. Now consider a program in which we have to print numbers starting from 1 till the number that is inputted by user. So for example, if the user inputs 5, we have to print numbers starting from 1 to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We have done similar question in the previous video, and there we used while loop, but here we will be using for loop. So first we will have to take a number as an input from user, and this is how we take user input in Python. And then this is how we write for loop. I will first write it and then I will explain it to you what exactly everything means. So this is it, and I will explain it to you now what exactly happens. So consider that the value of n is 7, and now the control will come at line 5, and what happens here is, so the value of I gets initialized to 1. So the value of I is whatever we write here. So if I write here 2, the value of I will be 2 and we will start from 2. This is starting value. As I have already mentioned in while video that there are 3 components. This is the first component and it determines the starting value. It is the second component and it determines the ending value. And this is the third component which determines the incrementation or decrementation part, that by how much do we want to increment the number and by how much do we want to, or by how much do we want to decrement the number. So in this case I will start with 1 because we have to start with 1. So now the value of I is 1 and we will enter inside the loop, we will print 1, then a value will be incremented by 1. So now the value is 2 and we will check if 2 is less than 7, which is true, so we will print 2. Then value will be incremented to 3, we will check if 3 is less than 7, it is true, we will print 3. Then 3 will be incremented to 4, we will check if 4 is less than 7, it is true, we will print 4. If then it will be incremented to 5, we will check if 5 is less than 7, which is true, we will print 5. Then value will be incremented to 6, we will check if 6 is less than 7, which is true, we will print 6. And then value will be incremented to 7, we will check if 7 is less than 7, which is false. 7 is not less than 7, 7 is less than or equals to 7, but it is not less than 7. So the control will come out of loop, and the values that will be printed will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. But so I will enter, but we wanted to include 7 too. So how are we gonna do it? So we will write here n plus 1. Therefore now our loop will run till less than 8 and therefore it will include 7. So we will get our desired output. Now if I enter 7, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So that's how this for loop works. This is the syntax. Okay, so what if now instead of starting from 1, we want to start it from 3. So if we want to start it from 3, we will write 3 here, and if I run this now, and if I want to go till 10, so I will enter 10 and we will get from values from 3 to 10. But now what if I do not want to increment by 1, I want to increment by 4. So and now I want to go till 12. So 3 for the first number that is printed will be 3, then 3 plus 4 is 7, then 7 plus 4 is 11, then 11 plus 4 is 15, and 15 is out of bound of 12, so we'll get 3, 7 and 11. So see, that's how it works. But there's a standard too. If we want to start from 0 and we want to increment by 1, we can write it like this. This time I will enter 5. So it's starting from 0 and it's going till 5. But if we want to start from 0 and we want to increment by 1, we can actually ignore this and Python will understand that we want to start from 0 and increment to 1. This is the standard. You can ignore it and it will just print the same. See, so now let's see another example. In this example, we'll be printing the contents of the list. Here we have a list which contains even numbers from in the range of 1 to 10, and there are actually two ways of printing list in Python. So in the first way, we are directly traversing through the list. So here we have written directly the name of our list, and we have not used the keyword range. So this I means this 2. In the next iteration, this I will be 4, then 6, then 8 and 10. So it will traverse through the list one item at a time, and it will print those items. So the second way is using indexes. I know we have not covered the list yet, but these numbers can be accessed by indexes. So like this 2 can be accessed by even of 0. So if I like print even of 0, this will actually print 2. If I change it to 1, it will print 4. So these numbers are stored in this indexes, and so the second way is by using those indexes. So we are looping from I till the length of even length of this list. So this length of this list is 5, so we'll start from 0 and we will go till less than 5, that is 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we'll print the items on that particular index. So you can use either of these ways depending on the situation, but you should know both of them. Then if we have to traverse through a string, this is the way we can traverse. It's just same like this list here. We just have to write whatever string we want to write, and it will traverse through the letters of that string by character by character. So when we run this, this will output to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 10. Then this will output to this 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10, and this will output to this sartek. Now let's see another example. In this example, we'll be looking at the usage of break and continue keywords, which will come in handy in certain situations. In this example, there are some friends who wants to play cricket, and there's this guy Barney who has the bat. So friends will come in one by one and will start playing as soon as Barney enters. We don't care if anybody enters or not, but we want Barney. So we'll let Joey in, we'll let Chandler in, we'll let Ross in, and as soon as Barney enters, we'll stop iterating, because that's it. Now we can start playing. Okay, so that's what we have to do. So this is how we can actually write it for I in friends. And we'll print I, but if I is Barney, will actually break out of loop. We don't want to print anymore. That's it. We just want Barney in. So I'll print and see. We get Joey, Chandler, Ross and Barney. We don't care if Ted, Leonard, Sheldon and Raj comes in or not. Okay, so this is how we use break. Also if you have noticed, we use indentation, and here also we have used indentation. So the difference between from here and here are 8 spaces, and why is that? Because this if is inside for. So 4 for and 4 for if. Okay. Another thing is that we do not have to necessarily write I every time. We can use any name. So like in this case, friend would be more suitable because all of these are friends. So for friend in friends, right? But we will have to make that change everywhere, and this will work just fine. So now we have seen how break works. Now we have to see how continue works. Let's say I will remove this. So now let's say among these friends there's Sheldon who doesn't actually like to play cricket, and he creates nuisance, he doesn't let others play too. So we don't want Sheldon. So we will let Joey in, Chandler, Ross, Barney, Ted and Leonard in, and we want Raj in too, but we don't want Sheldon in. So if we encounter Sheldon, we'll skip it. We won't let him in. Okay. So and how will we do that? So here I will have to write it ahead of time. So I will print if friend is Sheldon, I will continue. So this means that the loop will continue, but this iteration will be skipped. See, we got everyone except Sheldon. So whenever friend is Sheldon, this iteration is skipped. We didn't execute this line. The control never came to this line when friend was Sheldon. Okay. And how break works is that as soon as we get something, we break the loop. So the loop won't go forward. But in continue, we just skip that iteration. I hope you are getting the difference. In break, we stop the loop as soon as we encounter break. But in continue, we don't stop the whole loop. We just stop that particular iteration. Okay, so that's about break and continue. That's about for loop. Now, the only question is, why do we have two loops when both solve the same purpose? So there will be certain scenarios when for is more suitable. So like in this case, when we are traversing through list, it's just simple to traverse through a list using for loop. We can do it in while too, but we will have to take care of certain things. We have to write more code. So and while will be more beneficial when we do not know how many iterations will we need ahead of the time. Like if we have to count the number of digits, we don't know how many digits will be there, so we don't know how many iterations will we need. Here we know that, see, this list, the length of this list is 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we know that we have to iterate for 8 times. But if we don't know how many times do we have to iterate, in that cases while is more suitable. In the next lecture, we'll finally cover the lists in Python, which is one of the most important topics, and I will see you in the next one.